Who's teaching
right.
tonight?
Great. Do what, Nicole?
Who's teaching tonight?
Me.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it was supposed to be Lori, and she had a conflict, and so she worked on a PowerPoint, sent it to me. I sent it to Kara. Kara's doing it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Thank you, Kara. You saved the day.
Well, somebody had asked me for the link for tonight, and I went ahead and popped that on there and messaged April and said it's done. And then she's like, I got this to do. And I'm like, well, I can.
So awesome. Thank you so much.
Neighborhood motorcycle.
There's Leisha.
All right, so we are recording. It is the 15th of May. Cannot believe we're even saying that, but yes. And we're going to be rolling. Do we want to do a quick shout out for anything that's going good for you this week? Anybody got any good news to share?
Well, I had a lady say that she wanted to do a party. She booked a party in a party, and then she didn't want to do it in June. She wants to do it this month, and we're doing it on the 24th.
Nice.
Awesome. That's fantastic. To book one in that close is great. Really great.
I always love when they have that sense of urgency. It goes well.
Yep.
Yes.
Anybody else? Alicia, got anything? You will probably hear, I'm going to say real quick, y'all are probably going to hear a big holler in the background occasionally. The Blues are in the playoffs. We're watching the game in the other room. My husband just hollered, so you'll probably hear that on occasion. I will not apologize for that. That means we're scoring. So, sorry, Alicia. What were you about to say, girl?
Well, my Manny, we live close to a college, and Luther College, and we were talking, he's going on to his master's. He loves to cook, and I was asking him what he was going to do for a job as he was working on his master's. I was talking to him about the business opportunity, and he's contemplating it. So we're going to talk more tomorrow when he comes to watch Allie.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Really good.
Well, I have my second recruit that's come in who's going to be doing virtual only.
Awesome. And Nicole, you just signed up somebody.
Sorry, I had you on mute because my phone was ringing a while ago. I did. I actually did a show out of town almost 2 weekends ago. And out of the blue, y'all, I get a text from the girl from Roanoke saying, I had so much fun at your show. I'm a teacher. I need some extra income. And she signed up before I even even got to call and go over everything with her. So she chose her kit, and she's already got 3 and 4 shows set up. And again, I still ain't even done new consultant training with her yet. We did talk last night to go over stuff. She's like, oh girl, I've already got that set up. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Somebody that's actually working. I'm excited.
That's always exciting.
She's a teacher, so it's funny. I was like, well, this is where you go. She said, oh girl, I've been there and done that already. I'm like, oh yay. So she's very excited. And she did her own Facebook post. Teachers kind of, they do their own thing, but she posted or whatever, and I think the girl's I think she booked more shows last night since I've talked to her. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Well, good deal. All right. Anybody else pop on?
Janelle, you have anything you want to share?
Janelle, you got anything to be excited about?
Let me see. Hi.
Hi.
So, it was a good day. I had a call with Kathy from Lead, and I am excited about what's going on there. I have almost finished Lead, so I'm still in the program. Yay. Booking things, and her and I went over some numbers in some areas where I need to improve and things I need to do, so I was pretty excited about that. I have a recruit coming in either tonight or tomorrow, and I am looking at about 3 other ones. I'm trying to get the 5. It was a challenge in Lead, so I could use 5. So I'm hoping that I can get 5 this month.
Go get them, girl.
So, parties are at about 10. So.
Cool. Well, I think my host from last night is going to sign up. I think we talked.
Nice.
So with us before. So anyway, things are looking pretty good. So Kara is going to talk tonight about, our topic is keeping your customers. So it's about customer loyalty and customer care. And Kara is graciously agreed to fill in. Lori was unable to present tonight, and so Kara put this together and agreed to do this for us at the last minute, and we appreciate that so very, very much.
All right, are y'all seeing the whole presentation or the
Yes,
notes?
I think this says slide 21. Is this the last slide?
I know, I'm asking you the question. Are y'all seeing the whole presentation or just the notes?
Well, it's hard to tell on this one. It's got a quote on the left and a green box on the right.
Now just green box.
Yeah. So that's like the next slide is what we're seeing, the first and next slide, I think.
I've got two screens, so I'm trying to make sure that you're seeing the correct screen and not my screen. So
now we see notes in the next slide.
All right, I don't want you to see notes.
There you go. That's perfect right there.
All right, so this is based off of customer care, and we've all heard lots about customer care, but we're going to touch just a little bit differently on it with this, about specifically keeping your customers. So you've all heard the saying, teamwork makes the dream work. It's credited to John Maxwell, who is a big speaker and big proprietor for talking about working with your team and building teams. All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We're going to quote Disney because we're all going to Disney, so why not use them, right? So dream it. Pick your dream, figure out your dream, figure out where you want to go it. Are you a good customer? So this is honestly a good question for you to think to yourself. When you're trying to give customer care to people, you want to make sure that you are a good customer yourself, and you're trying to do for them what you'd want to have done to yourself. So I love the little Mickey Mouse cash register. It took me a while to find that. So you want to make sure that you are a good customer. Do you complain? Do you find faults? Do you nitpick on things? Very often I ask that of people when they go to restaurants. Do you nitpick at the restaurant? Do you pick on the server and everything they did? Former servers are very critical people. So I will mention that. But, so do you actually appreciate the cashier at the store, and do you ever say that to them? When they're having a bad day and somebody else in front of you is being a real grump, do you ever tell them you appreciate what they do? So if you're talking to a person and they don't appear to be listening, be patient. It simply may be they have a bit of fluff in their ear. Do you serve your customers well? And that's something we really do have to take kind of a self-evaluation on. You might have days where you feel like you're doing a great job with that. You might have days where you don't feel quite like you are, but that is something we need to constantly be kind of looking at to make sure that we are trying to serve our customers well. Are you asking the right questions? Are you really truly hearing what they're saying? Have you even asked any questions at all? That's all part of customer service. Good customer service makes the person feel good, and you want everyone to feel valued and good. You've heard us mention this in other trainings, and I think I mentioned it last week. You're a go-to guru. You want them to know they can talk to you, and you just have to talk to you. Like, oh, that's my person to go to. I need to go to them and ask them the question. How can you be of service to your customers? So there's lots of different ways to be of service. You can teach them to make great meals on their own, celebrate your customers, give them a great experience at the party. That's kind of a given. Who wants to go to a bad party? Touch base with them before, during, and after to keep lines of communication open. Follow up to ensure they are satisfied. That is a big one, y'all. We don't do that enough. I think everybody could use more of that and do more of that. Offer them the business opportunity and explain what it can do for them. Make sure they have your info to be able to get in touch with you when they need you. Some of you have heard a cell phone game. There's a couple other different ways to do that. I do the game at my show. I have an enter in my name as a contact, Pampered Chef Kara, all one word, so it doesn't re-scramble how it saves it in the phone, because they're not going to remember my name, but they'll remember Pampered Chef, and then they'll see my name, and they can call me. And I invite them to keep it in their phone. If they want to take it off after they get done playing the game and win a prize, I say that's fine. Just wait till you leave so I don't get my feelings hurt. Customer care is a gift. The key to customer care is a mindset, and you want to be in the right mindset. You want to be able to think positive. You want to be able to be there for them. If you're in a bad mood, that's not the day to make your calls. If everybody's rubbing you the wrong way and you're feeling kind of itchy, snarky, that's not the day to make your calls or customer contacts. You want to be able to be there for them. Embrace the idea of helping them. You're not calling because you have to have bookings. You're calling because you really honestly want to see how they're doing. make a system and take the time to make it happen. We all need systems in place to keep track and stay organized. An unorganized person is a telltale if you're not working your business right. Even if you really hate to be organized, it's one of those things you just have to find a system that works for you. It doesn't mean my system's going to work for you or April's system's going to work for you, but you have to figure out your system. Even if it's one shoebox is this week's calls and another shoebox is the next week's calls, whatever you have to do. And then creating relationships to strengthen your business is what this is all about. If you don't have a relationship with the people on your team, with your customers, you don't have a business, you have a shop. Kindness is the language which deaf people can hear and the blind can see. So how many times have you heard a smile goes a long way, or, you know, look someone in the eye, or make eye contact? So work on that part of it, and then let's work on systems. So here's an example of a couple of different things. I thought this was cute. So I do want to let y'all know I'm giving Lori credit. Lori put these slides together. She just couldn't do tonight, so I'm just filling in for her. So this is, how come you always want to meet here for coffee? And she says, as you can see, they're always friendly. Their coffee is always delicious. The place is always clean, and I always know what to expect. So consistency creates trust and confidence, which leads your customer to loyalty and brings them back to you. If you answer your calls in a timely fashion when they reach out to you, they get a hold of you and they get their questions answered, then you have made a consistency to them. You have built a trust. They can find you when they need you. And that's a big thing to do. So 3 C's is a system that I'm going to show you guys. With those 3 C's is customers, calendar, and conversation. Okay? You like my little tricks? Those are fun. So where do I start? Okay? You can start with anyone who eats. That pretty much opens up the door wide open. Who do I start with? Start with previous customers, start with people you know. We've talked over and over again about your launch list or your Frank's list. Everybody on that list has people that they know that you don't know. How far back can you go from when you started? If you've been in for a while, pull out some old shows, pull out some old contacts, however far back you want to go. You could start off with saying, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing? You didn't have to give an excuse why. Yeah, I really haven't done my business for the last 3 years. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you. Do you need anything? Obviously not. That's not how you're going to do it. But hey, it's been a while. How are you doing? How are things going? What's new in your world? It's just starting a conversation. If you're new, just start with your current shows and go from there. Ask for referrals, always. Do I only talk to those that order? Absolutely not. One of the things that I'm really trying to get into better practice of doing is a drawing slip at each show and getting them to fill it out. I pass them out, but I don't always get one from everybody, but trying to get them to fill those out. So even if they don't order, I have their contact info, because otherwise they're there and you have nothing on them. And if they happen to not order, I'll order online and they get back to you later. If they don't, you don't have that contact. And there's going to be some that happens with, but we want to try to eliminate as many as possible on that. Customers. So there's several different types. They've got your guests, your new customers, your hosts. Past guests obviously are in part of that. Your past customers are one of the biggest groups to work with. So if you have 30 parties in the last year and 10 guests at each party, just doing that for easy math, that's 300 people to follow up with. If 1/6 of the 300 guests book a party, that's 50 parties. Now that's in a year, so don't panic. You don't have to do that like now. But that's 50 parties. So work your numbers. How many people do you need to follow up with to start getting towards those bookings? And we've talked about that before. 10 calls usually gives you 9 no's and 1 yes. It's kind of a little stretched a little further than that. I think it's more closer to about 20 to 1, depending on your crowd. Virtual is doing its own little thing. It responds a little bit better right now. That kind of seems to be the trend people are doing, but just crunch your numbers. Look at your list. You guys had those notebooks and those 21 two-way contacts we did. Do those. If you're new, the two-way contacts is you count it when they've responded. Not just that you've called 20 people or texted 20 people, but once they respond, it's considered a two-way contact. And you want to get 20 of those. April, was that a week? I believe that was in a week.
Yeah.
No calls, not in
Yes, 25 in a week, yes.
Yeah, so 25 in a week. And that's two-way. Once they respond, you count them, and you just keep going until you get to that. All right, your calendar. Obviously, you need to know your calendar, but this is a model we talked about recently. If you need more information on this, we've got a couple of other flyers that are posted in the Diggin Deeper for Disney group. So we'll just touch base on this very briefly because we've spent some time on it. recently, like I said. So 222, 2 days after the party or the purchase, 2 weeks after, 2 months after. It's a good kind of pattern to get into, and you get used to it, and then it just becomes a regular thing to do. So you track your customer care contacts in your calendar. You can even write their names down. There are some direct sale calendars out there you can get that have little lines to write those people in on if you want to, or you can do it on a spiral notebook. There's multiple ways to do that. And that ends up giving you 6 bookings pretty regularly as you do that versus trying to look for bookings all the time. Conversation. I think this is what holds a lot of people up, is not so much the fact that they have to make the calls. Once you get on the call, oh my gosh, what do I say? So 2 months after the party or purchase time is a good way to get the customers excited about new things that's going on with Paper Chef. There's 10 very easy ways you can approach them. Ask how they're doing and ask about the family. I think this is first and foremost. Be careful not to go right past and jump into any type of sales aspect. You want to know how they're doing. Is this a good time to talk? If they say no, when's a good time to follow up? You don't want to crunch on them if they just had a death in the family and you won't shut up long enough to find out and you're too busy talking about what special comes up next week. Ask how they're doing. Ask if they need anything. Some of these are open-ended questions. Some of them are yes or no. Ask if they need anything. Could be just a no. And then would you like to hear about our new products? And just sit there and go through that. We have a great new special coming up. I'd love to give you more details. Ask if they would like to learn a new recipe. Share a product you're excited about. Share your current party themes and the current host specials. Obviously, you're not going to hit them with all of these, depending on how the conversation goes. These are just options of what you can start with. Explain why right now is a great time to join your team. We've got that great summer kit right now. It's a great question, great conversation starter, especially if you've had people who have expressed interest in that quick cooker and they have not purchased it yet. It's a great in. Oh my gosh, that quick cooker is available right now, and you're just going to explain it. As you get new products that completes and adds to a set that they have, that's a great in. It's an easy in. I know you love your cool and serve tray. Wait till you see what's coming out June 1st. We've got 2 bowls with little plates in there that go into your freezer. They're square bowls. They hold X number of space, and they're going to be great to complete your set. And it's what you're excited because it's new, and they don't have it because it just came out, and it's a good way to start off a conversation. Share a kitchen shortcut or tip, and then share with them a guest special that you're excited about. You have any other ones that you can think of that you want to add in? Stump the panel already? All right, so when you're doing this, you want to be a customer care master. Don't just do the minimum. Don't be mediocre. You want to, instead of just flying, we want to soar. I love this. I love Winnie the Pooh. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. So just step out of that comfort zone, grab your conversation starters, and start talking to people. If the phone freaks you out, find a different method that works better for you. I do recommend you not completely avoiding the phone because some people don't do anything else. They want to talk on the phone, and you want to have that opportunity to reach them as well. Ask what they like to do, their best means of communication. That goes a long way to showing that you actually hear them as well. If you're going to put stuff on the internet, can you do this virtually? Absolutely. And honestly, not one thing changes with anything you've heard tonight because you're doing a virtual show versus an in-person show. They're still customers. But when you put something out on the internet, this is a little thing that Lori put together here. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? So anytime you're putting anything out there, just make sure you're kind of watching that to make sure you sell those. And then celebrate your customers. There's so many different ways you can do that. Be excited about what you have to offer them. Be excited how you can help them. Can you work your business smarter and not harder is another thing to do with celebrating your customers. Do something in a batch. Do work on groups of people together. However you want to go about that. So on social media, because that's where a lot of things are going, especially with virtual shows, say thank you on social media. It goes a long way. If you have some slides or posts that are going along with a live show, or if it's just on a virtual show, say thank you. Go live and say, hey, thank you so much, Susie, for having your show. It was fantastic. I can't wait to see how you're going to spend your $200 in free products. Or if a guest shares a product with you, you can do a video with like a special guest, have somebody over, and hey, show them the new prize and the new product, see what they think about it, and do like a live reveal right there with somebody. That could be because they're a special guest or a thank you, customer appreciation type thing. Have them send you a picture as they open up their order and post that in your group. Susie is so excited about the kit, the box of stuff that she just got. Here's all her freebies for hosting, and look what she has. I get them to post that right on my group because then it comes from them and their friends see it as well. Again, go live and thank a guest for a new idea they gave you. I've had people post when they get a new product, they try a new recipe and they go and put it on the group. Hey, I just made a warm chocolate chip cookie in the ceramic egg cooker. And she described how much time it took her and how she ate it nice and warm right there out of the ceramic egg cooker. And it was homemade cookies, but she just did one at a time. She broke down calorie count. She's a nerd. I like nerds. Ask them to post their new favorite gadget. If they just got a big order and they've got some new things they've done, ask them to try it and then talk about it on your page. And that's a way to just appreciate your customers and tell them that you think about it. So I know that's all, it goes great, here's what you do, and honestly, you just have to cover this as well. What if it doesn't go well? We are talking about customer service, and sometimes it doesn't quite go the way you want it to. I saw this on this Disney quote page. It says, mermaids don't lose sleep over the opinions of shrimp. I thought that was cute. So you can't be all and end all for everybody. So don't try to do it perfect. We always joke and say it's pampered, not perfect. So go with that, but still do your best. Make sure you're hearing them, and make sure you're hearing what they need, and then go through and try to do the best you can. And sometimes a couple of little things you can do to step above and beyond goes a long way. And it's not something that necessarily takes a whole lot out of you. So if it's possible to fix it, fix it. You can give them the 800 number to call home office if something is wrong. But you can also process it yourself. I don't know if you guys have done the chat return thing versus the little return that you can do for yourself where it takes you through step by step. I do the chats and get a hold of them. That's what they're there for. They're working on multiple people at one time. But I can multitask and work on that when I'm doing something else. It gives you the tracking or the confirmation number for it. They give you all the address or any information that you have to have. And it's great to work through that. Plus, you get a chance to talk with home office and encourage them at the same time. So if you have a chance and you can do it, process it yourself. There's one director, I think it was Michael Reeves, that said he does all his returns on Tuesdays. It was either him or Brian. I forget which one, Brian Parker. But they just let their customers know returns are handled on Tuesday. You can call me with it anytime, but if you want me to help you with it, we're going on Tuesday. And then, hold on here. Go. Track that process and the return and talk with them once they should have received it and see if they've got it, see if they've got the right item, make sure all the pieces and parts are there, and then if they've used it, make sure that they're pleased with what they've done. That goes a long way. I know I keep saying a long way, but it really does. There was somebody who had a pan that she needed to replace, and it got missed. The shipment got waylaid somewhere, somehow. I stayed on it and kept tracking it, finally found it and got it, it got to home office and they found it and did this. And then I contacted her afterwards to make sure she got it. And she was so appreciative. She's like, I will be coming back to you because you took the time to make sure that process went through. Mm-hmm. And that is why we do it. It did take but and I did that through chat also. I didn't call and sit on hold for hours. I would just periodically touch base with home office through the chat and ask them if they had found it or what, where things were with that process, and they're great about it. They can still do the shipping itself. Like, you don't have to take on their product and ship it back unless it's inside that first 30 days where they get the free shipping label anyway. If it's past that, it's their cost. If you've got somebody who's returning a pan or something they bought, lifetime warranty 15 years ago or whatever, it's their responsibility to ship it back to home office unless they want to pay you for it. You work that out with them, but you can still do the return and get them all the information they need. And most of the time, they're really appreciative of that because they're not sure what to ask, and we know. So if you hear about an illness or a death in the family, send a card. It shows that you're listening. It shows that you're there for your customers. Or follow up and ask how they're doing. If they've been sick, contact them and say, are you feeling any better? Or I hope you're feeling better. It's so easy to do. And it's just one of those things that, again, shows them you're listening and you're paying attention. Send a personal thank you for a card for hosting. It can be a text. It can be a little image, however you want to do it. If you get a chance, though, send some type of card. Happy mail or regular personal mail that has no window mail in it is not very common anymore, and they really do like to get those. Make them, if you're that nerdy, crafty type person, make one. They have all kinds. You can even go through and get, there's all kinds of stamps out there that have food on it. There's ones that even have food that looks like Pampered Chef stuff. People on the way back in the day had gotten some Pampered Chef-ish looking ones made, and you can come across them every once in a while. So you can get a plain blank card, even the PC thank you cards you get through our vendor, and then you can put a stamp or something on the inside and personalize it to tell them thank you. And I just think I think they like that type of attention and response versus just show's done, it's cashed in, they're out, you're out, talk to you next year when I want you to do it again. I think it kind of goes past that. So rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. So make sure you're taking care of you also. So I'm not saying all these other things about their first to say by any means you sit there and do it to your chagrin or your shorting or you costing yourself extra money or extra time trying to help impossible people. But if you're putting customer service first and you're trying your best to do that and taking care of yourself at the same time, you then have a business instead of just having, again, a store where you give grumpy people come in and leave and you never see them again. So that was quick. That was fast questions.
I've had customers tell me that they contacted consultants who told them, no, it doesn't have a warranty. Sorry, you're out of luck. I can't help you. Did nothing. And it really makes all of us look bad if we don't take care of people. And so, I do it as a customer service. I always, and I even send their stuff back unless they live really far away. Then I send their stuff back for them. And even if they didn't buy it from me, and I just do that. And that makes for customer loyalty,
It does.
I
like to do it, especially too, when I talk to other people who had other consultants. Like, they're not my customer. They didn't buy it from me. They got it from somebody else. And like you said, they just heard from them, I can't help you. Or that person never followed up with them again. So they didn't think they were even doing Pampered Chef anymore. But now that I've met you, I want your help. I'm happy to do that. I'll be happy to have, I can sit there on a chat and, like I said, multitask while they're digging through the old records trying to find that purchase as easy as the next person can. And I'm getting other things done while they're searching. Mm-hmm. So why not help them have a better finish, like you just said, than they did for the other person?
Yeah. Janelle, were you going to say something?
Yes, I will actually go and if they live in Billings or live around me, I will offer to go get that product from them and help them out that way. That way, I want to say it's all about customer care, but here's what it does is basically it gives me another opportunity to get next to them and talk to them. And if I show up in their office with information or, doing the exchange for them, then basically other people see that. I'll be like, leave it with your receptionist. I'll drop a catalog with that receptionist and say, oh, tell her I was here and I grabbed this. And yeah, I actually will go that extra step for the ones that live here.
And that customer will be your customer forever.
They are. And then I had a woman book a party from another, when I went in to do a return, she asked me if she could have a catalog, and then she did a catalog party on her own. It was like $343, and she contacted me. She's like, I did that little party. Do you want it? That was a couple of months ago. I was like, great, I got another party. And so you don't know where the little things, like Kara said, how you would want to be treated, how I want to be treated in a business when I buy. So,
Nicole, you got anything else on customer loyalty that you want to add, or?
Not really. Oh, then, I do, I would say customer care when it comes to me is, when you get so many customers, it's kind of hard to do that. But I really, really try to always tell, and I know Kara mentioned this, at shows, I tell people, if you ever, if you have issues with products, even if you didn't purchase from me, because I think one of my biggest pet peeves is people buy all this Pampered Chef, and what do they do with it?
Nothing.
So, and I always joke around and say it should be like you buying a pocketbook or a pair of shoes or clothes. You want to wear them. You're excited to get them. So I, like, example, that same show that I just signed the scroll up from, one of the girls that came, has had a deep cover baker for 8 years, y'all, still in the box. Had no clue how to use it or anything. I bet she has texted me probably 5 times saying, I am so glad I came to that show. So glad I came to that show.
That's
But
awesome.
I'm like Kara, too. I do give everybody permission at shows. Call, text me, Facebook, whatever it may be. But even if it's for dinner, if you need help for dinner, because I think a lot of people struggle. I really do, because they don't know what to do, or they have a Pamper Chef product and don't. So I think us giving them permission to do that, you know, I get tons of text messages, of course, all the time, but I've given them permission to do that, and I don't mind that. You know, they're always like, I hope I'm not bothering you, and so I think that goes along too. That whether they do book a show from you, but I think as far as a customer, I think that you'll have them for a customer for life as well.
There was a.
I've even told them if they got substitutes they need. If they're grocery shopping and can't find something and they need to know what to substitute a recipe, to text me and let me know. Or if they're sick of something, you know, call me and we'll find something new.
Yeah. Today there was on the Home Office Direct directors page, there was Robin Schilling did a phone call about ideas for getting more business for the rest of the month. And I'm trying to figure out how to share that video because it was on another page and it's not a YouTube. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to share it, but I want to share one thing that was really, really good that and Robin is like a national executive director. She said that she has an extra quick cooker at her house and the carrying case. And that when she sees people on Facebook saying, you know, I'm struggling with knowing what to make for dinner or whatever, she contacts them. You know, it's like past customers, hosts, friends, stuff like that. She contacts them and says, how about if I loan you my quick cooker for a few days and let you try it? And she said that and she takes them the cookbook that comes with it, and that they get in and make a few things, and then they either want to buy one full price or they want to have a party to get one. And she said that every time it works for being able to do that. I thought, what a great customer.
Yeah, what a good idea.
But
I think
really
for that, I would say for any product for that matter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially skillets, rock crocks, that kind of thing. Yeah. Now, I'm a little scared to give my products away, but yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you get them back. Write it down on the refrigerator.
Well, I don't know about getting them back. I'm scared of how they take care of stuff. You know?
Oh, yeah.
There is insurance with the company with that within reason, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, and you can always say, you know, hey, you know, here's what, you know, be sure and use this spoon with this or whatever, you know. So big old dog. That's a huge dog.
Wow, he's a huge dog.
Bigger than your head. So anyway, but great job. Great job, Kara. Thank you so much for doing that for us. We really appreciate it. And Nicole is going to talk about discussing the opportunity, the interview process, so our opportunity chat, we call it. So you want to talk for a little bit?
Hold on 1 second. Y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this part is, let me ask questions because I know I wasn't on here last week. Anybody scared to share the opportunity? I can't see people's faces, but is anybody scared to share the opportunity? No, yay.
Yes, I still am to this day, just because I don't want people thinking that I'm being pushy on them.
Okay, so I have a question, Pam. How did you sign up through Pamper Chef? Was you at a show, online? How?
I did a virtual party with this girl, and I just signed up, and then I never heard from the girl again.
No. Did she offer the business opportunity?
No.
Okay, she didn't. So you just, okay. So before I get started, and the reason I say this is because I think a lot of people are scared of this process. Just like when I taught Hoach Coaching a couple weeks ago, a lot of people are scared of that because you're actually having to get on the phone and you're actually having to have that conversation with somebody. But again, I know that we've said this many times. Half of us would not be here tonight on this phone call if somebody didn't share the business opportunity with you. And I know one thing that I do at my shows is I actually have customers that are there ask me questions instead of like pay an example of me saying, I make this, I do this. It should not be about me, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I have them ask me what they want to know. So it truly does take the pressure off of you. Okay. But who has informed, invited since last week? So anybody on the phone would like to share your success and how you did it. What successes did you have as a result for informing and inviting? Anybody? Anybody? I can't see. I'm sorry.
I just sat down at my show yesterday and talked to the whole group about, and actually several people seemed kind of interested, but only one of them is going to be interested for right now. But I just sat down and just said, I just got to tell y'all, you know, it's a really great opportunity to be able to do this. And I talked about virtual and I talked about live shows, and, you know, so I think just, you know, really getting real with them and sitting down and, you know, instead of just saying, and let me know if you're interested, you know. So I went into a little bit more detail.
Anybody else?
I have a few leads this month, and I'm hoping to get them signed. I was going for the 5. The one girl I shared the opportunity with that's signing up either tonight or tomorrow was actually a girl who came over to get my extra cookware from my kitchen after I got my Pampered Chef director box. I gave away a whole bunch of old who needs items from a kitchen. She stopped by. I talked to her a little bit. She was finishing school, was interested in maybe talking further about hosting a party. I've kept in contact with her for about 3 or 4 months. She started out with a different sales company in jewelry, and I always encouraged her and followed through. And then this week she contacted me and she said, I liked the selling, but I was looking for more variety to sell. So that helped. Just sharing that opportunity constantly with her finally unfolded.
And how about anybody with hosts? Because I know that we taught that, and I don't know, it's been, you know, maybe 5 or 6 weeks since we taught about, you know, actually sharing the host, you know, with your host at least 5 times. Does anybody have success with that?
Actually, I did. I did a virtual show. Well, I had 4 that went last Friday, and 2 of them are actually considering it. One actually signed up 2 nights ago, and she's someone I've actually worked on for years. But she sold everything else before she came finally back Pampered Chef. And she, the posts that were on there worked because she was seeing the orders coming in because she had the dashboard on. So she was seeing the orders coming in. She was seeing people actually responding and being interactive because she was one of the ones who actually did all the homework with her post every day, and she did the right engaging posts. And so she was watching it actually happen and watching it work. So it didn't take a lot to convince her, you know, I didn't have to sell it as much as she wanted to do it by this time, but because all the different little pieces were in place and it worked, and she was excited about it. So
yeah, I think people seeing their host dashboard and like you said, seeing people actually active on the page, I think that does help a lot as well.
She also did one of those things. She said if she, because we did the little booking comments that were in there. Y'all just hear my husband. So she did a thing on there. She got 6 bookings she would sign, and she ended up getting 5 bookings and signed anyway. But because she was excited about it, and she started talking about it, people started jumping up and responding even more. So it works.
Yep. So sharing the opportunity, obviously there is a 3-step process. First of all, you have to inform, obviously, and informing is exactly what we're doing. You have to inform somebody to know about the business opportunity. Yeah, are you going to look up and have somebody that may be interested in the business? And unlike Pam, she wasn't offered the business opportunity. And I always say this, if you're not going to offer the business opportunity, they're going to go to another show and somebody else is. Okay. And I think that happens a lot where, you know, the customer, I should say the host, well, consultant, it could get, you know, mad because like, oh, she's my friend or she's my customer. But if you've never offered them the opportunity, you can't help the other person for doing that, because obviously that's part of our job. Number 2, obviously, is invite them, to the opportunity as well. You can inform, but you need to invite as well. And of course, your opportunity chat. The company offers the opportunity online event every month for everybody. So it's not just specific people. It actually is open for everybody. And I think it's pretty cool because it's a live event. So, people can question and they kind of go over questions and that kind of thing. So obviously you've got to inform, you got to invite. And of course, if you're going to offer opportunity chats as well. That is something too that you personally can do. You can reach out to your director. You and her can do it together. You can do an opportunity on Facebook, once a week or ever how often that you need to do it on a monthly basis. But I think keeping that in front of people too, as far as, not that you share it once every 6 months. I think, and I've probably said this before, but I have a separate group that I have set up on Facebook, and it's easy for people that are on Facebook. And I keep those people in a group page, and I actually share the business opportunity at least probably 3 times a month. And I would have to say I've had right much success out of that one page that I set up. And I actually learned that from Lead. One of my friends, Kim, had started doing that years ago, and I think it's easy to keep up with. Now, of course, your people that are not on Facebook, of course, you can't put them in there, but it is nice to be able to, group those people together. And it truly is no pressure. I do not message them, Pam, I'm here. I'm not here to, I don't want them out of my page, if that makes sense. So I am informing them. And anytime that we have any opportunity events or anything, I do privately message them to invite them, as well. Opportunity chat. Make it a goal to have an opportunity chat with hosts before the party begins. And those of y'all that were on the calls before, we kind of went over some of this stuff. Hosts are your very best possible leads. And just like Kara said a while ago, whether you're doing an in-home show or you're doing a virtual show, when people know that their friend is getting ready to start a business, they're typically, a lot of people are going to, obviously help them out. They can turn their own show that they have scheduled with you into their launch party as a new consultant. And I think we talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago, April, didn't we talk about, yeah, we did, where a couple of consultants were, as soon as their new people came in, they were doing their own launch party online and running that for them. Mm-hmm. To obviously help them get started. And I think it helps them get started. In addition to, it also helps them get more bookings and recruit leads for their own business. You can offer kit credit coupon to use after the show closes. So that's, and this is one thing that can be only done if you're hosting the show with them. Because once they sign up as a consultant, obviously they can't get the kit credit. So remember, the kit credit can be applied to any kit. You get $25 credit or a $50 credit. And follow up at the show and before closing. Okay. And what I say is before closing, it could be, and this is no joke. I started doing shows. I've been doing shows in Roanoke, Virginia. So it's about a 2-hour drive for me. And I'm from Martinsville. So from Martinsville, it's an hour drive, but from where I'm at now, North Carolina, it takes me about 2 hours. So I can only visit them on the weekends. And I actually went back in January, and y'all, from that January show, I'm still up there doing shows. I had 8 bookings from that show. Okay. I was crazy not to offer that host all them bookings. Okay. She flat out told me, absolutely not. You're going to have to keep coming back up here. So it's funny because now I've been up there for every show. This show that I just did 2 weeks ago was my last show up there. And I did get a recruit lead. So again, it did work out in my favor for that. And I'm thinking, after all 8 shows, but I will have to say, the host actually emailed me today. She's like, oh my God, I'm so surprised that she signed up. I still did get a booking from that show. So I'm still going back up in August because I don't think that they know each other. But I typically will ask I'm doing a co-host. I will ask them, if they know her and kind of want to give their business, because I really do leave that up to the host when it comes to that. Some hosts are still going to tell you that it's not for them, but I think for us, I think it's part of our job to at least offer it to them. Mm-hmm. And if you are comfortable, and Paper Chef is nice, y'all, because Paper Chef has done the email for you. How many of y'all have sent out your thank you email to your host?
I used to do that all the time.
I do too.
I habit. I don't do it
well,
anymore, so.
And the reason I say this is because if y'all don't know where we're talking about, when you set up your show page, it's got your show page, email host, email guest, your shopping list, all that stuff. When you hit email host, it says before show or after show. Obviously, the after show. It actually tells them how much they gotten free, how much they saved from hosting a show, and it also tells them how much money they would have made well, that it would tell them what we made from making their show. So I don't think, you know, a lot of people realize we probably make money, but I don't think they realize how much money we make. So like when I did when I did that show with that girl in Roanoke, she was a double free girl. And I want to say her show was around like $1,800. And when I told her how much I made, she was like, yeah, that's good money, but you can still come back up here and do those shows. So, but just still give them, you know, the information so that way they're not, you know, because you never know. Some people's like, oh my gosh, you made $300 off this party. They may be like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'd really make that kind of money. Opportunity chat with your show guests and outside leads. Do a full service checkout with each guest, and I will be here to tell you, it's some shows I can go through this and do every single person. The next show it doesn't work out so great. So this is one of the things that I really, my personal self, that I've got to get back into doing, is doing that full service checkout with each person individually. Suggest coffee, breakfast, or a phone call the next day to discuss. And I typically do this, and most people, you know, I work a full-time job, so it's hard for me to say, let's go for breakfast or let's go this. And a lot of my people are out of town. So most of the time, typically mine is going to be a phone call or text. Why is it important to do it quickly? Because it's no different. How many times have y'all been to a show, somebody booked a show, and you waited maybe 5 days to contact them to schedule it? What has happened?
They don't do it.
They don't do it because they're not excited anymore. And the business, y'all, works just as fast, because when they leave a show and go home and then tell their friends, or they talk to their mom, or they talk to the husband, what's happened the next day?
Somebody's talked them out of it, because it's like somebody will say, oh, you don't want to do that. You need to sell Mary Kay with me, or you need to sell 31, you know, and then they hijack your recruit.
Yeah. And so that's why it's very important to do it. And I know that we've talked about this too. Did I hit that? Sorry. It's very important to those of y'all that do vendor events. It is very important to follow up with people within 24 to 40 hours for the same reason. They're excited because they've seen you. And then when you go days and days and days and don't follow up, they've already forgot about you at that point. Don't send too much info home. Okay. Don't give them too much info. I don't know about y'all. I give the flyer that we have. If I don't see them in person, I'm sending them the same link, and that's all I'm sending. Okay. I learned a very long time ago, and I have tried to teach my consultant this. And when they come to me and they tell me that they're struggling recruiting, typically I say, what are you giving them? What are you talking about? And what they're doing is throwing up on them. Do y'all know what that means? Giving them way too information. So keep it very simple and quick. Basic recruiting packet, again, Life is Great brochure, which this one's old. We have a new one. A current catalog, and there's a questions to answer about Pampered Chef.
Hey, why don't you post your Q&A about Pampered Chef that you put in your host packet?
I will.
Really, really good.
I will, yeah. And I do put that in every packet, and I do go over, and I know y'all know I'm anal about my host packets. I go over every single page in there. Now, that is one page that I don't read line by line, if that makes sense, but I do tell them what it is and why it's in there. You know, and I do tell them they're the only person at the show that can take advantage of the kit credit and obviously the bookings and stuff from their show. So I kind of tie in that with that page, if that makes sense.
You know, I hear people talk about how they tell people, just go on my website and click on Be a Consultant and look around there. And to me, that's a lot of information too. I mean,
it is, because
some people are going to do it, but you know.
And I typically will send them my link. Like, I'll direct them. Like, I don't say go to my website. I will actually send them the link of the consultant page, and have them look around, and I'll send them that Life Taste Great or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send them that too, but it really is everything that's on the website that you see there. But just to say, go to my website, I'm not, you know, I do send them the links and kind of what to go over and that kind of thing. What about virtual parties? So it's the same as cooking shows, obviously discussed before the party starts, because they can take advantage of the exact same thing. Do your full service checkout with guests. And what I find interesting here, because this is so much easier. Why? Because you're not sitting in front of them. Okay. So that is the nice thing. I don't think anybody on this computer has a problem messaging somebody on Facebook. Consider inviting them to a virtual opportunity event. Something that you could do is, something you can do is, if you do have a virtual event, or if Pampered Chef's doing one, you can, you know, offer that service to everybody at the show during your full service checkout. Do chat by phone or private message if not local. Meet in person when you can. Y'all know, obviously, meeting is more personable, obviously. And I'm a big person when it comes to those of y'all that know me. You know, don't get me wrong. I love texting too and this and that, but I just think there's some things you should pick the phone up for. And this would be, hey, do you have 5 minutes that we can actually have a conversation? Just like last night, that girl literally sends me a text, y'all. I'm driving back from a show and I get the text and I'm like, well, that's exciting. And then she texts me back and says, well, I've already ordered my kit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have time to talk to her. But we did make, like I said, we did make time yesterday, and she had a couple of questions and I kind of went over some stuff with her yesterday as well. But I don't think I don't think she would have understood everything if I tried to do everything by private message or text. So I think it is good that you actually do pick up the phone. Interview cards are now digital, so these probably look a little bit different from what y'all had in the past. Oh, can y'all still see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about yourself. Obviously your family, your occupation, your interests and dreams. You know, yesterday, and just to give you an example, the girl that I just signed up yesterday is a school teacher, loves to cook, and she needed some extra income, and it looks like she is super busy. She's got 2 kids, one's in gym, one's in baseball. So obviously very busy. So you kind of want to know a little bit about them and what's going on with them. What would you like to know more about? And it could be that, you know, maybe they have questions about the commission structure. Maybe they have, you know, maybe they're in this because they want to earn a trip. There are so many people, y'all, that are in this business for different things. And I bet you there's one person on this phone that is not in it for money. Okay. There's a lot of people start Pampered Chef not for money, y'all. It could be to get out of the house. It could be just to get the free products, and it can be just to make income, and they get everything else in addition to that. Which one of these interests you? Obviously you have easy, fun, money, freedom and flexibility, support. And support too, I think, goes a long way, because there's so many people, I think that in life, whether they're married or not, I just don't think a lot of people have support, and everybody probably on this call would agree. I don't care what group you're in, who's your director. I think you know that Pampered Chef has a huge support system. You know, whether it comes from home office or it's coming from not a director, but somebody else that you're friends with, there's a huge support system for that as well. Easy business to run. Start with a grand opening show. Again, this can be virtual, in home, whatever it may be. I always tell my new consultants to offer 2 dates. Do I have anybody else that does that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just because y'all know this day they pick is not going to be perfect for everybody. So I always tell them to offer those, you know, 2 different dates. Great host rewards. It's very, very easy to book shows. I always tell people, if you have fun at a show, okay, and there's something big ticket item, typically you're going to get bookings from that show. You have to be fun. And back to Kara, when she mentioned it a while ago, is you have to be a customer sometimes. You know, I know you can't sit at your own show and be your customer, but you can also, and one of the reasons that I do the survey slip at the end of my shows and I get them to write certain things on the back is because I want to make sure that everybody that's coming, I want to make sure they have learned something, they have liked something, they've been able to try something, whatever it may be at the show. So I know personally that I've done my job. Because it's not about me going and selling $5,000. I want to make sure that people don't leave regretting, oh, I really didn't want to come to the show tonight. I want them to leave and be like, I'm so glad I came to the show tonight. So when you're fun, people will book shows. And y'all, the host rewards we don't have to talk about. Y'all know they're amazing. It's simple to sell products when people love it. Okay. Have y'all ever been to a show that you've asked somebody to share their favorite product and one person or several persons says, well, I have this and hate it? Anybody?
Occasionally.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like toxic. And you have to turn it around, you know.
Yeah. And you know what, y'all, 99% of the reason why people hate stuff, why?
They don't know how to use it.
Don't know how to use it. Okay. And it's funny because I'm not trying to put the blame back on them, but it's funny. I always think, April, when that happens, please somebody else say, you have lost your mind, because that's the best product in the world. Okay. Yeah. And I'll give you an example. I actually had a customer I had to call 2 days ago. She is very not nice, I will tell you that. When the daughter-in-law texts me and says, I know she was rude to you, I don't even have to ask. And she was, I didn't tell her what she said or anything, but I love my large bar pan. I do a lot of stuff in my bar pan and oven. I never have issues with grease coming out, with grease popping, anything. So this lady has cooked everything in there. Grease is rolling out the side of her pan. She's got grease popping everywhere. And I'm like, what are you cooking? Like, are you cooking that on the stovetop? So I would never recommend this product, that kind of thing. So, I got stuff to exchange for, but again, 99% of the people that are at your show do have something they love. Y'all, we have minimal investment. I mean, obviously the biggest kit we have is $249. Y'all, that is still minimum from other direct sales. Okay. So we have very minimal investment. And if I think you're working with somebody that is tied in with another company, or if came from another company, you may have to go into that a little bit further, because I think a lot of people think we have to carry inventory or we have to do this, and they really don't realize that we don't do any of that. And you truly, truly make money at your first show. Okay. I can't see anybody's hands on here. I know that when I signed up 15.5 years ago, my kit was $90. Okay. My very first paycheck was $775. That's why I decided that I said I was going to do 6 shows and quit, and decided after that first month, I don't think I'm going nowhere. It's pretty good money for the small amount of time I left my house. Anybody else agree?
Yep.
Everybody.
And even if somebody bought the $249 kit, y'all, if they sell $1,250, in that first month, they're still getting their investment back. So in all reality, people are not losing money when they want to start their business. That's not really sure why that's on there.
Yeah, it's like the way that these work is it goes back to these where you choose which one you want to ask.
Oh, I gotcha.
I took them out after this one. I just put it for a couple.
Oh, I gotcha. Which of these would be most fun for you for products? Y'all, most people won't, there are people who, and some of y'all may be on here, you only signed up to get free products. Okay. Recognition and rewards. Y'all, most of us that work a full-time job, we don't get that at work. So that is nice to be recognized, and you do get awards for that. Free company paid vacations. I know that we have several people on here that has earned vacations before. I know we've talked about it. They're amazing. And, this is what I always say. Once you go on one, you'll never miss another one. Okay. Because it sucks to have to pay for vacation. It truly does. The friendships, we've talked about this many, many times. A lot of us on here would have not ever known each other if it wasn't for Pamper Chef. Okay. And I know that we have friends all around the world. Like, I'm in North Carolina. Some of y'all in Illinois. Some of y'all are in Arkansas. So we have a lot of people all the way around the world that we're friends with, and without Pamper Chef, we wouldn't have that. And when we work, it's a party. Okay. You should not go to your party and feel like this is I got to get him a job. It should not feel like that. Your earning potential obviously is endless. And that's what I always tell people. You can make as much money as you want to. There's no cap. Average 110 to 510 is about 1 to 3 hours a week. Contribute more to your income, $665 to $1,100. You're looking about 3 to 6 hours. Achieve a specific financial goal. There's a lot of people who come into Pamper Chef because maybe they're remodeling, or maybe they have a student loan to pay for, or they want to help with a mortgage, whatever it may be. So know that those options are there. And there's a lot of people on this call that make that on a monthly basis. Make full-time income and flexibility. You've got $6,800 to $45,000 a month. Can you imagine making $45,000 a month? Okay. And that's working 15 to 25 hours a week. Those of y'all that work a full-time job, because I'm here with you. Okay. You probably do not make $45,000 a month, and you probably work way more than 25 hours. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I think when people do realize this, because I've been asked many times, golly, do you work 24/7? No, I don't work 24/7. Okay. But people don't realize that. I think people just think because you're on Facebook or if you're out doing shows. I mean, I've had many people say, do you do a show every day? And I'm like, no, I do like 8 shows a month. They're like, oh, okay. So some people truly do think you work all the time until you actually tell them, I do not work every day. What would you enjoy most about setting up your own hours? Being your own boss, first of all. How many of y'all love not having to call Pamper Chef and say, oh, by the way, I've got a show tonight, got to be there at 6:30, and then call them when you're done. You're not clocking in and out. So it is nice to be your own boss. I say this for us consultants. Being your own boss is a lot of responsibility, and most of y'all probably agree with me. There is nobody standing at your door to tell you get to work, mail host packets out, call your dude. You need to set this up on Facebook. You really, truly or your own CEO. So you do have to run your own business. Flexibility is probably one of the biggest things, is because you truly can work your own business. Your calendar is your calendar. Okay. Planning your business around your life. Some of y'all probably have kids. I personally don't have kids, but if you probably seen my calendar, you'd be like, wow, she looked like she got about 5 kids going on. And I'm a planner, girls. Anybody else planner people? No? Yay?
Yep.
Planners, I should say calendar. I'm not really sure how anybody will run their business with that one. So really planning your business around your life, because that's what it should be. It should not be your business, and then your life comes second. Life comes first and then business. And then the freedom to create the life that you want. Because truly, it's, again, people come in every business, whether it's Pamper Chef or not, they're coming in for different reasons. What support would be important to you? Obviously, y'all know we have national and regional trainings. We also have online training center available 24/7, which is PC University. We also have local team meetings, and most of y'all know that I keep hitting that button, that we have online meetings. We also have, in-home meetings, toll-free consultant support center. And then you also get me and the rest of our team for your training as well. Has anybody else sold any other company besides Pamper Chef?
Yes.
Okay. And I can't say who said that, and I want to share, and then maybe you can share. So I had somebody that has been with a different company, two separate companies, and literally said that hands down that Pamper Chef had more training than any other company they've ever seen in their life.
Yes.
Like, they were like, they don't even have a third of the training that Pamper Chef does. So I don't think when people come in, they don't realize how much training that really is out there.
And if you're not pulling up to the plate to take advantage of it, you're crazy. Because
you're missing out. Yeah.
We're preaching to the choir here. Y'all the ones that get on trainings,
Yeah.
It's the other people that need to be hearing that part.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I tell people, when you're struggling in your own personal business, that's one thing I always say is, people ask me all the time, how do you earn this and how do you do this, and it's training, y'all. That's one thing that from ground one, I realized when I missed a meeting or when I wasn't able to get to one, I knew what I was missing, and you truly do miss out on so much free information. And we do thank y'all for getting on, with us, because obviously we wouldn't be on here doing this if it weren't for y'all. Why Pamper Chef? Obviously, y'all, everyone loves Pamper Chef. We get to earn free products every season. Most of y'all know that. And I might as well say every 3 months now, it feels like. It's not every 6 months anymore. Pamper Chef covers all the costs of host rewards and customers. Y'all know a lot of other direct sales, any host specials or customer specials, they have to come out of pocket on. So the nice thing is Pamper Chef does take care of that for us. We do not inventory or stock. I couldn't imagine if we did. I wouldn't even want to go there. And then earn a free business supplies, which is great too. Those of y'all that know what I'm talking about, your Pamper Chef dollar.
The whole purpose of this whole slide here is when people are thinking about selling Pampered Chef or thinking about something else. So you say, these are the things you need to find out about the other company, because, like Mary Kay, they say, okay, we make a whole lot more commission than y'all do. Well, yeah, but they have to pay for all the stuff they put on people's face, and they have to big old inventory. And we have a lot of people sign up with Pampered Chef to pay off Mary Kay debt.
Yeah.
Very, very common.
I used to sell Mary Kay, and I will tell you, the answer to Nicole's question a minute ago, there is no training, hardly at all. And then you go based on the person who brought you in, their order average is what they recommend you order. But if you sell something to a different type of crowd than they do, you end up with 8 orange lipsticks, bright orange lipsticks you can do nothing with. I had 8 orange lipsticks for a really long time. And then the inventory thing is insane. And the reason they make more, like April just said, is they're buying it. They have to buy so much to get that discount, and that sits on their shelves until they sell it. So if they don't sell it, they're not making more commission.
They're actually losing money. Yeah.
40 to 50% off that they get is because they bought $1,000 worth of stuff that's now sitting on their shelves.
Yeah,
exactly.
Based off what we sell, not based off what we stick on our shelves. Yeah. If we had an inventory, there's no way on God's green earth I ever would have signed up.
That's what I'm thinking.
One of the things people tell me is that they'll say, okay, well, here's all you have to pay to get your kit. And then they turn the paper over and say, now you need to also, get business cards and checks that have lipstick on it. And you have to do this, and you have to do that. And then they have them spending so much money. And with us, you can buy a kit and period. You may never buy another product again, ever have to buy a single other thing, because you can run your business forever with that same stuff that came in your kit.
Yeah.
I had one of my people on my team worked for Norwick, and what she couldn't get her head around was the fact that if she didn't sell the $12.50, that Pampered Chef wasn't going to come back at her credit card and charge $1,000. A lot of people that we're talking to, that's a situation with other companies. And it took me a while. She kept asking me, so if I don't sell it, do I have to give them $1,000 for all the product? I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. So like Kara said, with Avon, they have to buy so much that it just doesn't, it's not profitable for, of course they get 50% off. So
yeah, and I get people tell me that all the time, oh, that's all you make, I make this. And I'm like, no, you truly don't make that, because most of them have to pay for credit card fees, y'all. They have to pay for the host rewards. They have to keep inventory. So when you take in all consideration of that, I mean, I had a friend, and I'm going back to Mary Kay, and I know y'all heard me say this. I mean, she came out with like $22,000 in debt for Mary Kay. She sold Pampered Chef and paid it off. But, she said she lost so much money for exactly what just Kara said. You have to buy all this product and it sits there. Okay, well, you're not making 50% at this point, and then it just sits there. So you've totally lost all the money at this point.
And then they threaten you. If you send it all back in because you want to sell it right now, you can never sell with them again. So then you don't want to send it back in because it's not the right time for you to do it. You want to try to keep it and sell it on its own. And so then you got that over your head. So you lose your shorts on that company. My credit was screwed up for years because of it. The other one too, though, you guys, it's not even just them. It's like LuLaRoe had cost $5,000 to get started. And those people can't even pick what they order to sell. Yeah. You get a mystery box and whatever they get, and then you happen to have to try to sell that. And some of those patterns my grandmother wouldn't wear.
Yeah.
So, we don't have any of that. And it is impressive that we can to talk down all of the other percentages and all the stuff that we have and kind of dissuade every other group out there.
Yep. So obviously it's easy to get started. Obviously you can kind of give them, some different options that you may have coming if you've got a show coming up. Help them schedule their own grand opening show. Always invite them to your team meeting, whether it's virtual or in home. Our training calls tomorrow, and it'll be at such and such time. And let's order your kit. And when it comes to ordering kit, y'all probably already know this. It literally takes 5 minutes or less. It's so easy. And this is probably another thing that I do that may be different. I will actually be on the phone call with them, so in case they have any questions at all. Now, if they tell me, hey, if I need help, I'll call you. I do have some customers that are like that, but I do try to be on the phone with them to kind of go over it, because I know it's super easy. But then you do have those people that's like, oh, is she going to help me? And like Pam mentioned, I mean, she signed up and never even heard from her person, so I never want to be that person.
Pam, I'm so glad you're on our team so that we can take care of you.
That's how I ended up here too.
So obviously you got your kits to choose from. Y'all know we have our special kit this month, which is obviously the pressure cooker. And I just seen a video today on Director Success. I don't know if they've turned it into a YouTube video, but they're pretty much saying go live from your kitchen, show a very quick, easy. And what they're doing is they are doing a like the salsa quick chicken. Is everyone talking about the salsa one, the lettuce wraps? They're actually having them take that and actually make it, but also talk about it, and tell them how they can get the kit for $109, the kit rebate, and then one of the things that they mentioned was how easy it is, who can't push a button, who cannot push that. And going back to April, and when you see them on Facebook, and obviously especially if they're local to you, obviously be able to, hey, here's my quick cooker, take it home for the night or take it home for the next couple of nights. And y'all know, does everybody on here have a quick cooker?
No.
Okay. And if you're using it, you know what I'm talking about.
Who said no?
Pam,
Pam, what's up with you?
You'll get one this month.
Pam, I need you to sell $200 this month.
Do what?
I need you to sell $200 this month for yourself.
Have a party yourself. Get June for Jerry for $96. It's awesome.
Quick cooker. And the reason I say this is because we mentioned this earlier. So many people, y'all struggle in that kitchen. Okay. So that is a really good idea of, if it is somebody local, to be able to take that over and let them. And again, that could be somebody that's going to purchase this $300 item from you, or they're going to host a show to do it. So that's obviously more business for yourself.
I think I need to loan my extra one to Pam so that she can decide.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what? Once you see that one, you may not get it back.
Exactly. You may not. She'll be like, I just buy that from you. But I actually have two, but I never thought about that because I actually leave one here for the house that we use here, and then I have my one in my carrying bag that I actually take to my shows. So,
you know, I have a second one that's sitting in a box collecting dust in the hallway, so that may be a good idea. I've been hesitant to open it because of why do I need two? But I really like that idea.
Well, that's what I thought too, but it's like after she talked about that, I'm like, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, it is a very good idea.
It is a good idea.
And I think too, whether it's that, like I mentioned earlier, I know I've told y'all this, them non-stick stainless skillets I love them.
Oh, they're my damn.
I'm going to tell you, one of my coworkers sits across from me at work, and literally today we was talking about, because I had actually did some fishing in mine last night, and she was like, oh, what did you do? She's like, Nicole, I have told everybody about that pan, that everybody should have that pan in their kitchen. So I think that is one of those things too, that if you let somebody borrow it, let them cook in it, that kind of thing. I really think that it's kind of the same purpose. You would probably have some orders for them, or they'd be hosting a show to get all those.
Yep. Yep. That's really cool. We have gone over our time tonight, but great job, ladies. And Kara, again, thank you for bailing me out tonight. And thank you to Lori, if you're watching this afterward, for putting the PowerPoint together and giving us the part of that so that Kara could just build on that a little bit and take it and run with it. So I really appreciate everything that y'all did to help with that tonight. Next week, which is going to be the 22nd, Janelle is going to talk about recruiting how-tos and overcoming objections. And so those are the two things that we're going to talk about next time. And then we actually just have 3 weeks left. Our last one's going to be on June the 5th. And I'm already actually thinking about, and Nicole, we probably need to have a powwow, about who we want to ask, because we were talking about using guest speakers through the summer to be able to have people come on and talk about things. So I'm going to make a post on our group and let y'all comment on what you would like to hear. Because y'all know, Pam, I know you were on when we did that before, and some of the things that were really, really helpful. I want to know what topics y'all want. I know that there's some powerhouse people in Home Office Direct that are now doing almost all virtual that were not. And so I want to know how they made that transition and what they're doing that's working for them to give us some ideas. And I know that there are a lot of other things that you guys probably need. So if y'all will just let us know what works for, what things you want to know about, and we'll find a speaker to be able to do it. If there's somebody in particular you would like to hear speak, but I'm going to put that on here right now while I'm thinking about it. And so anyway, we'll see y'all next week. And Kara, thank you again for everything and for recording for us.
You're welcome. I will post the recording after the Blues game is over. I'm going to watch the game.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking a break from the game to help us. We appreciate it.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies. Guys.